Hey, welcome to episode of Beers, Jack, and Barbecue. So I'm Craig, man behind the camera's Jack. Today we're doing Canadian bacon, or some call it Buckback bacon or whatever. So it's made from a pork loin. Pick this up. This is about 8 pounds. My mixture here is kind of for a 10-pound, but because it's in the water, I'm not too worried about having a little bit extra. So my mixture is just basically 2 cups brown sugar, 1 cup kosher salt, 2 tablespoons of black pepper, and 2 teaspoons of pink salt #1. So put it just into cold water in about 2 quarts of water here. Been mixing it up to dissolve everything, so everything's dissolved. I'm gonna just cut this in half, put in a large baggie, add the brine to it, turn this every day for 7 days, and then rinse it, let it dry, smoke it, let it cool, and then slice it and cook some. So we'll show you the whole process. Right now I'm just gonna do the cutting of this, putting the bag, getting the brine going, and we'll show you the next step at that point. So I just kind of take it in half. I have my cutting board. I just have some paper towels on it just to kind of soak up some of the juice. I don't mind some of this juice because we're going to put liquid in here. And I kind of always use the aluminum pan just to capture any possible juice that might be coming out of it. So I put the first side in. You notice I rolled the baggie back, that way I don't get anything on onto the bag itself, so when I go to close this. So now I'm just going to dump the liquid in. Like I said, we'll show everything we always show everything in the show more. We have the whole outline of all of our cooks. I'll show you the exact recipe I used and even the process that we use this. Now I'm just going to try to get majority of the air out. And then when I let this sit, just going to make sure everything's covered. And it's going to go from there. So every day I'll turn this, flip the bag over, make sure everything gets good and coated. And we're just going to let this sit and let it cure, and then we'll show you the next step. All right, so here we are at step 2. Now you may notice I only have one of the pork loins in here that we're doing because since this is like a 4 or 5 stage process, trying to do as many things on one day as we can because Jack and I are a team, so we aren't always together to shoot this. So previously I actually have one I took out already soaked. It's in the fridge drying, so we can actually smoke it a little bit later today. So, but step 2 for this is typically, I turn this every day for 7 days. Just gonna take it out of the solution now. And then I'm just gonna soak it in the water to kind of bring out a lot of some of the salt. And that way it won't be so salty when it's mixed. So I close this up so I don't spill that. So it'll be in here for a good hour, hour and a half, and then I'll pull it out, dry it off with towels, set it in a rack, put it back in the fridge for 24 hours, and then it's ready to smoke. So we'll see you at the next step. Okay, had this soak in just over an hour, like I mentioned in the beginning, just to pull out some of the salt. Just gonna bring it out, dry it off, and then we're gonna stick it in the fridge overnight, let it get ready to smoke tomorrow. Like I said, just dry it off some. It's going to continue to dry in the fridge overnight. And that's about all we're going to do this. So we'll next time we'll do this, we'll actually put it on the grill and show you what it looks like cooking. All right, so we got the grill running around 225 to 250. I'm gonna throw the bacon on. We're gonna do fat side up. And we're just gonna let that cook to bring that to about 145 degrees. At one point, I'm gonna stick a probe in there and we'll bring you back when it's done. All right, so here you can see I said we're gonna add a probe, and I put the my Cook Perfect probe in. Got the perfect temperature reading there. Just gonna, there we go. Pull this off. Then we're gonna let it in the fridge overnight, and we'll slice that tomorrow, and then we'll show you when we actually fry some up. All right, so here we are, the last day, the good day. Get to cut this up, fry some up on the, we're gonna actually put on the cast iron on the grill. This one here is darker than the one that we actually pulled off the Kamado Joe. And the main reason was because, as I mentioned in the beginning of the video, I basically had 4 chunks like this that I kind of staged, so because Jack and I are a team, we can't be together all the time, and we shot like 4 steps on one day, and now we're going to shoot the final steps here. So the one thing I did do was the first one we did on the Kamado Joe, which we're going to actually fry some of that up as well. This one I actually did on the Weber, and I smoked it pretty hard, just trying something different to see which is the best one, because I still have 2 more hunks that are in the fridge curing that this weekend coming up. I'm going to smoke those. So depending on what happens here with this one compared to the other one is how I'll smoke the final 2 pieces that I got. So let's start cutting this up and we'll see what it looks like. I was going to get the slicer out, but this big knife works pretty good, and boy, that looks nice. I wasn't sure what it was going to do smoke-wise, but wow. This is looking good. I know this camera angle here is going to have, but boy, looks nice. So I'm going to finish cutting this up. We're going to take it out in the grill in the cast iron, fry a few pieces up, and we'll show you what it looks like out there, and we'll do the little taste test at the end. All right, so got the cast iron on. We're just doing the gas grill to cook some of this up real quick, and I'm just using some ghee, which is just clarified butter. Move this around a little bit. And then we'll, like I said, I have some both on. So this is from the cook on the Kamado Joe. And this is from the Weber kettle. So I'm going to close the lid down a little bit, keep some heat in there. All right, let's give them a flip. Looking good. You can almost tell the 2 different ones because I had the second one smoked harder that has the darker edge, almost like a cap on a ribeye in a sense. But we're keeping the grill closed. I don't know if you see in the background, but we had some snow the other night. It's only like 30 degrees today. All right, gonna check them out, see if we can pull them off at this point. I think we'll pull them off. All right, we'll see you inside when we do a taste test. As always, cheers. So here we are, the end of the cook. Canadian bacon, or some call it Buckback bacon, but it's a whole pork loin. We cut it in half, so I had a 10-pound pork loin cut in half for 5 pounds. The brining mix, which we'll have in the show more down below, is 2 cups brown sugar, 1 cup kosher salt, 2 tablespoons black pepper, and 2 teaspoons of the pink salt #1. Put that in a mixture, about 2 quarts of water, put that in a large baggie, dump that in once everything was dissolved on that, put it in the fridge every day, flipped it for 7 days. Took it out, rinsed it off, or I should say rinsed it off, we actually soaked it, bring some of the salt back out, pulled it out of that mixture after about an hour and a half, dried it off, put it on a rack, set it in the fridge for another 24 hours. Smoked them, so like I said, the first one we did, we smoked them in the Kamado Joe, and then the next day, because again, we staged everything to be able to shoot in just a 2-day span instead of the multiple days it takes to make this. Smoked the other one harder, so I'm gonna do a little bit of taste test today. We did just fire up the gas grill out there just to get the cast iron hot. Use some ghee, which is clarified butter, for the grease in the pan, and then fry these up. So I'm gonna take a test. This one is from the Kamado Joe the first day, which wasn't smoked as hard. It's very good, and actually I've had this because of when we're shooting. I've already had that one a little bit already. So here's the one that we did on the Weber, which we smoked a lot harder, to see what it's like. For me, it's going to be the harder smoked one. I think it was better. Both are great. We'll let Jack help us out with the decide. I'll put that in the comments once we're all done with this. But here it is, Canadian bacon. Turned out fantastic. Looking forward to dinner tonight. And we'll see you next time. Click the little bell, get notifications when we put some out. Subscribe to the channel, and we'll see you next time.